The biggest threat to the stock market all the way up here right now is that interest rates have an 87% chance of getting raised this year. Think about that. 87% chance. That's like pretty high, right? And if we look at what happened in the 2022 dip in the market, this was literally because interest rates went up. Because inflation got out of control, we raised rates from 0 to 5%, and then the market fell 35% right there. So now we're all the way up here in La La Land going to Pluto, and we have this thing that's 87% chance likelihood of happening. And when it does happen, if it does happen, the market's likely to come back on that. So in this video, we're going to break down in a very simple way. What is causing everyone to think the rates are going to go up almost in a guaranteed way, 87% chance? How do we capitalize on this? And how do we just understand how to allocate our portfolios through this very volatile time that we're in right now? Because bar none, this is one of the best times to be an investor because there's so much opportunity out there, but we still have to face challenges like this where interest rates might go up. So this right here is the CME Fed Watch tool. I have the December 9th meeting of this year selected. In English, what this means is that the current interest rate range right now is 3.5 to 3.75. It's a range. This shows you the percentage chance that we're going to be at this range by this meeting. Example, there's a 13% chance that we're going to be at the same rate at the end of this year. Meaning everything to the right, which is 87% chance, is that we're going to raise rates and we're going to be at these ranges down here. And right now, there's actually a 0% chance we're going to cut rates this year. Now, why should we care about interest rates? Why do we care if they're going to go up or down? Well, very simply, interest rates are like gravity on the stock market. This is, you might think it's minutia, but it is not. This is huge. Like Warren Buffett has said many times that interest rates dictate where the market is likely to go. Interest rates carry a lot of weight. So when we see a very high chance that we're going to raise interest rates this year, it might make people think that, hey, maybe the market's going to get volatile. Maybe the market after just ran up a lot. It might bounce around a little bit and not go up so much going forward from here, right? It's very possible. So when we take a look at the data, what does the cold hard data say why interest rates are potentially going to go up? Well, because inflation might go up. If inflation goes up, the Fed's going to raise interest rates to then try to bring inflation down. But why is inflation going up? Well, as you could probably guess, there's this thing called oil, right? We all know that oil's been ripping to the moon. This is a 1-year chart right here of oil, okay? 1 year, oil's up 18%. It totally went out of control, went all the way up here to like $112. Now it's at 84. The Iran situation started to cool down a little bit, but now it's starting to heat back up again, and we have this little wick up going up right now. So this is kind of like renewing fears in the market that, hey, maybe we are actually going to get these interest rate hikes. And if they do come, hey, the market might go down. But here's the thing, how the market's behaving a little bit funky right now. Like, if we look at how the market's been going up to the moon, and we look at how there's been a little bit of volatility lately, but not really that much, is the market actually pricing in the chance that we're going to get interest rate hikes this year? In my opinion, no. Like, the NASDAQ right here from all-time highs is only down 4%. We saw again right here where the market literally fell 35% from peak to trough. Now, are we going to actually raise interest rates from 0 to 5%, a 5% hike right now? Unlikely, but it is going to cause volatility in the stock market, and I don't really think that the market is actually believing that we're going to get these interest rate hikes. So let's break this down one step deeper. This right here is Truflation inflation data. Now, Kevin Warsh at the Fed, he's the new Fed chair. He is potentially going to adopt some form of more accurate real-time inflation model like this, the Truflation data. You can see that Truflation inflation is saying, as of today when I'm recording this video, it's 2.05%. The Fed's target is 2%, so we're basically at target. So what you're probably thinking right now is like, well, Brandon, if we're at this 2% inflation target right now, despite the oil situation and the Iran situation, why do we actually even need to raise interest rates? And that's kind of like a point that I've been trying to bring up for a while now. Like, is inflation really that bad? Or is it just that the government data sucks and it's laggy and it's not super accurate, and we should be maybe using something more accurate in real time like this? I think we should, and I think Kevin Warsh at the Fed understands that. So when they likely adopt a more accurate model, and they say, hey, like, we're going to get inflation at 2%, but what they're really just doing is saying, hey, we're going to just move the needle and choose a different set of data that makes the data look like how we want it to look, which it is more accurate data, but that more accurate data happens to just make inflation at 2%, right? So the Fed could then go claim victory and not have to raise interest rates. And then what this prediction model right here is saying is that yeah, we're pricing in an 87% chance that we're going to get interest rate hikes. If that doesn't happen, this is then becoming a bullish tailwind for the stock market right now. Like when I started out this video, I said the most risky thing for the stock market right now is probably raising interest rates a lot. But there's actually a scenario where the market is kind of pricing in interest rate hikes. But then if we don't get it, it's kind of like a bullish tailwind in the market going forward. And I guess before I go more into that bullish tailwind going forward and how to potentially capitalize on that, I want you to understand this data right here. This goes all the way back to 1980. And the people that were alive back then, you guys all remember these times where interest rates were literally at 19%. This is not a typo. This is not an error, like literally 19%. Right now we're at 3.63, which is just the midpoint of where this is at right here. So what do we clearly see? We see interest rates going down and to the right, okay? So when interest rates go down and to the right, is that bullish or bearish for the stock market? It's usually bullish every single time, because if you look right here, basically in the exact same time frame going from 1980 until now, this shows you the trailing price earnings ratio level for the S&P 500. It started out at a level of 6, and right now it's at 28. So yes, it does look elevated. It does look like, oh my God, the market's a bubble right now. But when you understand that interest rates are here, way lower than history, it kind of justifies the market valuation a little bit right now. So again, building into this thesis, like the higher the rates go, the lower that the price earnings ratio level is going to be for the stock market, meaning if we're at 28 for a PE right now and it were to fall to like, just say 14 for arbitrary numbers, that means the market would fall by 50%. 50%. So that's why you have to care about interest rates. You have to care about where oil is likely to go, because this is the main thing driving inflation, which is then going to drive interest rates. And then it'll help you build more of a thesis of like how the heck to allocate your portfolio in a very simple way. So my high level opinion is this. I don't think that we're going to raise interest rates as much as what this is pricing in. And when the market realizes that, it is a bullish catalyst for the market going forward. So when we have this opportunity at our fingertips right now, where the market has been taking a little bit of a breather, the valuations are kind of fair, earnings per share growth is very, very strong, my opinion on the market for the next couple years is bullish. Yes, we're going to have a lot of volatility along the way. Yes, the market is going to be bouncing around like crazy, and it might make you go just crazy. You're like, your head's going to fly off your shoulders. Like the market's going to kind of like go up and to the right like that, in my opinion. But if you could zoom out and hold your portfolio and be patient, you're going from A to B. Yes, it's going to be bumpy along the way, but see that volatility as opportunity. So when you see people coming out and saying, oh my God, we're going to raise interest rates. Oh my God, inflation's out of control. Oh my God, oil's out of control. Understand that the world is smart, humans are smart, countries are smart, and they usually find a way to bypass the Strait of Hormuz. We're talking about different pipelines coming online that's going to help bypass it, make the Strait of Hormuz less important. And when that becomes less important, oil prices are likely to fall. And if oil prices fall, inflation's no longer a threat. And then we'll just move on with our hunky-dory dandy way and just worry about something else in the stock market, right? The market's always going to climb a wall of worry. So here's what we have to look at next. Let's take a look at my portfolio as of right now, just to be a little transparent right here. It's up $26,000 today, up 1.79%. Nasdaq's up a little bit less. S&P's up less. You guys know I've been allocating my portfolio to capitalize in the most efficient way in this market. Market goes up, I win. Market goes down, I will capitalize on the volatility. Market falls 50%. Ratios are always going to be in check because we are going to get a lot of volatility in the stock market going forward. But, just going through this data at a very high level and understanding it, where we think rates are going to go, I'm very bullish on the market going forward from here, but it is going to be volatile. So it's critical to ensure that you're allocating to the cream of the crop companies, good companies at good prices, and do options in a way that simply makes sense. Now, I want to go one step further really quick into this oil situation. Oh my God, Brandon, oil's going to the moon. Oh my God, what if we don't get a deal with Iran? What if inflation gets out of control and we do actually have to raise interest rates? Fine. This right here is the top 10 holdings in the NASDAQ. Okay, the top 10 holdings. And these top 10 holdings are now 46%, which is very, very high. Okay, what do we actually think? Slightly higher inflation, slightly higher interest rates. Maybe we raise by 0.25% this year. I think if we raise, it's probably only going to be by that. What do we think about that? Is it actually going to impact these companies? And what does higher oil prices actually have to do on the companies that actually move the needle in the NASDAQ? We're going to go through the S&P 500 in just a little bit. NVIDIA, higher oil, irrelevant. Higher inflation, in my opinion, largely irrelevant. Fine. Apple, Does it really impact them if oil prices go up by a little bit? If inflation goes up by a little bit? Probably not, because think about it, like every single company here, inflation does impact them a little bit. Inflation does hurt them a little bit, but what do they do in order to maintain their profit margins and keep their profit growth good? They just raise prices. We just saw Apple raise prices on the iPhone and MacBooks and iPads and stuff like that. So, yeah, they might be getting hit by a little bit of inflation, but also they're raising their prices too. So these are almost like inflation hedges to be invested in these businesses. Like, what is your alternative? You're going to go buy bonds and get, 4.5% a year, 4.6% a year when inflation is only a teeny bit lower than that. Like, the move is to invest in companies that are inflation hedges, like the companies here, in my opinion, right? So, Nvidia, no impact. Apple, no impact. Microsoft, no impact. Micron, basically no impact. Amazon could have an impact if gas prices are higher because delivery costs will be higher to move goods back and forth. So Amazon could have a little bit net negative of an impact, but I don't really think it's going to be that big of a deal. AMD, no impact. Google, no impact. Meta, no impact. Tesla actually could be bullish because what if people say, oil's going up, gas prices are going up, screw this, I'm going to buy a Tesla and not have to deal with this anymore. So it's like, this carries a 3% weight, this carries a 4% weight. They kind of just counterbalance each other out, right? It could be like a net nothingness for all of this right here. So when you see people stressing about this Iran situation and this oil situation, like, I strongly caution you to ground yourself in reality and on earth of like, if earnings per share is the number one thing that's going to move the price of stocks in the long term, and we just went through the main list right here, that it's not going to impact the majority of these companies right here, then it shouldn't impact my ROI going forward in the stock market. Actually, I should enjoy this volatility. I should like to see the bumps along the way, because guess what? Volatility is opportunity in the stock market. This was the volatility of the Iran situation. We capitalized, we made money. Market ran up a little bit too much. I de-risked a little bit. I added bonds to my account. Market fell, time for EPS to grow. The market then became basically fair value. This right here is the earnings per share growth line that I talk about so much. We are basically at fair value in the market right now. So if we go take a look at this, it shouldn't shock you that when the market was here running to Pluto, roughly 13% above fair value, I was more cautious. Down here when the market was below fair value, I was more allocated, I was more aggressive. Back here, I was a little bit more cautious, and right here, I'm kind of like a neutral allocation. It shouldn't shock you that that is how I'm allocated. It just simply makes sense to allocate when it's more advantageous to allocate like that. But back to what we're talking about in this video right here. I don't think inflation is going to be that big of a deal going forward. I think that the AI tailwind efficiency coming is the tsunami. And I think that when we're seeing these little tiny spikes of inflation right now, people just get so hung up on these little minutia data points that aren't likely to move the needle in the long term. So please stop focusing on the non-needle mover stuff and flip your brain to focus on the things that do actually move the needle to make money in the long term in the stock market. Earnings per share growth is okay right now, which I'll show you in just a second on this report. Valuations are okay, which I'll show you in a second. Economy is okay, and interest rates we already talked about, they're overall not too bad. So look, this report just came out. It's critical to understand. 10% of the S&P 500 reported earnings so far. Of the 10%, 88% beat EPS, 85% beat revenue expectations. Great, fine. But are those numbers actually good? Yeah, of course. Earnings per share growth is 24.7% year over year right now. The average is about 10%, which is why the S&P average is about 10% per year in the long term. So we're crushing earnings, and growth is really, really, really good. Okay, Brandon, that's fine, but the market's a bubble. I don't think so. Look at this right here. The valuation level for the S&P 500 is currently 20.3 for the price earnings ratio level. The 10-year average is 19. Yes, we are a little bit higher. This is a difference of just, say, 5%. We're 5% above the average. But what is way more than average? Earnings per share growth. Like, the average is 10, we're at 24, right? And if we take a look at where interest rates are at right now versus history, even versus, let me zoom to the max chart here. This goes all the way to 1954. Are interest rates roughly like average where they've been in the long term or even on the low side? Yeah, of course. Interest rates aren't here. And that's, again, why the market was trading at like a 6 for a PE ratio. So interest rates are gravity. I don't think interest rates are going to go up that much more from right here. We have really strong earnings per share growth. So I think the market is going to continue to do some form of move like this, which I know my lines aren't pretty on my chart here. But if you could just be patient and keep your pants on and keep your emotions in check, the patient investor is very likely to be rewarded. So I don't think the oil situation is going to be that big of a deal in the long term. earnings per share growth, valuations, interest rates, how the economy is doing. That is the needle mover stuff. It's never always going to be perfect, but if you allocate your portfolio in a way that simply makes sense, you're going to be okay. You're going to have some volatility, just like I had this year. My account went down to 1.1 million, but I used that Iran dip as opportunity to capitalize, and it went from 1.1 to now 1.5, over a $400,000 swing in just a few months. That is the power of capitalizing in a way that simply makes sense. Okay, so that's the video. If you got value, be sure to like, subscribe, hype, drop a comment, hit the share button, do all the fun stuff if you want to do it. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. I think it's going to be a good one. Recommend you check it out. If you want to learn more about my option system, click the link right here. Watch this video. Or if you just want to learn the entire system step by step, see my stock sheet, see all the trades I'm allocating to, see inside my portfolio on a real-time basis, get the course, get the Discord, get everything. It's very, very cheap. It's cost of a Starbucks run. I'm not here to make money from you guys. I'm here to just add value and help you out. Click the link below, 10-day stocks and options transformation training. See you guys in the next one.